Okay, boot on the image that we checked from part 1. Enter your language, where you live,
How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight. Wait, let me start earlier.
and your keyboard.
No, you can't die from insomnia.
Now this is what you're going to see after your name. Choose a good name for that. And for the domain, you can make something up if it's a home network. But just make sure all your computers on the network have the same name. Choose the server that's closest to your own country here. This is going to be important for quickly downloading things. Now we have two passwords. One is our root password, and one's going to be our user password. They are not the same password. Here we're re-verifying our root password. Now this is going to be your username, not the root account. And here we choose a separate password than the root account. Although later I am going to install sudo, so we will be able to switch into root privileges quickly. Okay, I'm going to do this for the average home user for a desktop. You see, there is an encrypted full hard disk there, or full disk encryption for hard disk. I use that at times too. Actually, I use that for my own computers. But this is going to be for a standard hard disk, or you're just going to have it on the desktop. I am going to change this from ext3 to ext4 with the journaling. If you're using an SSD, I wouldn't do that. I'll probably make a video a little later on showing how to do full disk encryption and how to set up an SSD for alignment. You can choose yes or no. For privacy reasons, I chose to say no. We are not going to install anything except for the standard utility. Later when we install Xfce, we'll be installing or pulling these things off the net as needed. Otherwise, we'll just have a bunch of bloat and stuff we don't need. That was the grub bootloader. Generally, you say yes there. And that was the installation. We only installed max 50 megabyte of information there. The rest we're going to be pulling off the net.
It was on the tip of everyone's tongue. Can I be next? We just gave it a name. Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club.
Okay, we log in as our user, but our user does not have root privileges. So after we log in as user, we'll log in as super user, SU, and then the root password. This is so we can modify our repositories, which we will modify to testing. At the moment, testing is also known as Wheezy. Okay, I only use the main repositories. I'm a floss freak, but I do realize a lot of people want to have access to programs such as Flash. So you're going to need contrib. if you want components that are not 100% free. Testing, like I said, to clear up any confusion, is Wheezy. But when Wheezy is released, the next distribution that's coming out will also be, ahead of its time. So this is going to be a truly rolling distribution.
Each one of you has a homework assignment. You're going to start a fight with a total stranger. That's not necessary. You're going to lose.
You don't have to write by Onryo. And if you're wondering how I got rid of those two lines, it's Control-K on the bottom. You just made them go away. And you save Control-O. Now it's important we do an update with the new libraries. And now we're going to install sudo. So we don't have to use su anymore.
Wait, let me start earlier.
Now we're going to add our user to the sudo group. Add group sudo Onryo, or in your case, whatever your name is. We don't necessarily have to reboot, but I'm doing that just to make sure we don't have any problems at all.
I flipped through catalogs and wondered, what kind of dining set defines me as a person? This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
Now we log in as our user, and we now have sudo privileges. So when we update the system, we are not fully in root.
This is how I met Tyler Durden. Come on, hit me before I lose my nerve. It was on the tip of everyone's tongue. Can I be next? We just gave it a name. Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club.
This is the distribution upgrade, but we changed the repositories around, so we'll be getting all the new stuff. We wanted to install as little as possible in the beginning. That's why we chose the business card installation. Now that we have changed the libraries around, we can now pull down all the newest stuff for Wheezy. This way we keep our system clean, we won't have any problems. These are little messages telling us that there's an upgrade going on or something. Read them, I usually do, and push Q to get out of those things. In this case, it's okay to restart services.
To what purpose? To Tyler we trusted. I gotta take Fight Club up a notch.
And you'll notice I'm doing a lot of reboots. With Linux, you don't necessarily have to do it in this particular manner, but I just want everything to go smooth and clean and not have any problems. And there you see, check out our new kernel. Alright, once we log in, we're going to install our desktop, Xfce, which in video 3, I will show you how to make basically look like the old GNOME with Compiz, Emerald, a bunch of other stuff. In my case, I don't need the hard disk temperature thing that just went by. You might want it if your hard disk supports it. And now start X, because we do not have a device manager yet. And now you see the desktop. This is not going to look like this when we're done with it in video 3. It's going to look really neat. Now I like Synaptic. It's a graphic front end for apps. It's important that we install Synaptic, and then so the search function in Debian works. We're installing this package here, and we need gk sudo or gksu and menu.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. After Fight Club, we all started seeing things differently.
You're gonna have to keep me up all night.
If you feel at home with apt, you don't need Synaptic. I'm doing this to make it universal for all users. And now we're going to install our device manager, LightDM in this case, since it's the most evolved. This is where you're going to log in the beginning, so you don't have to write startx. There are others like Slim.
I gotta take Fight Club up a notch. Each one of you has a homework assignment.
And as you see, I'm rebooting again, mostly to show the login that will be coming up. And there we have LightDM. There's a little setting that we can set so you can see the user's names if you want to set it. It's in LightDM. I'll show you in video 3. I only have 15 minutes on this video, so I didn't really have time for every little detail, but we'll get into it later. Okay, this is the Synaptic thing. It's using GKSU. But here you have a visual or a graphic apt front end. I'm going to install Iceweasel, which is the Debian version of Firefox. It is Firefox, it's just the unbranded version. And all the plugins are in the Debian repository. I'm going to install AdBlock Plus. The ZUL is indicating that it's going to integrate straight into Iceweasel. Just taking a quick look here at what's what.
This is how I met Tyler Durden. Come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
Okay, AdBlock's probably going to want me to set some subscriptions for it. And there we go. You can just click that away.
First rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Let's take a look at it under extensions. And there we go. You see it. I always install NoScript and quite a lot of other plugins, privacy plugins. This is important now. This is for networking. I decided to use WICD since it doesn't really pull anything or almost anything from GNOME. Lightweight, and it's a really good network program. Make sure you click in your user here now. Onryo's mine, you're going to have another one there. This is so you belong to the NetDev group. I'll log out after this, and you should see on the top right hand corner my networking. It works for Wi-Fi, it works for all networking. I do need to change one little thing in this file. Okay, we're going to take away those last two here. Control K, if you don't know that, and Control O to save. So we just have Auto LO and iFace LO, well, those two there. And we log out. If you look up in the top right corner, there you have it. If you got Wi-Fi, you should be prompted for your passwords. I don't have Wi-Fi on this computer. Actually, this isn't a VM, so that number looked a little strange there. You should see your IP address.